Hey there, in today's practice, we will work on the moon salutations. So if the sun salutations are meant to energize the body, the moon salutations are the opposite. They're meant to help cool down and bring the body back into balance. And so doing this right before bed can be nice, or any other time you need to kind of slow down and settle rather than creating more energy. So with that, today you'll want to make sure to have a blanket or a towel if you have sensitive knees, as well as 2 blocks to lift the floor up. And while we do the moon salutations, we'll go one direction through the set of postures, and then we reverse our way out instead of doing them in the same order. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. If you need, you're always welcome to sit up on a blanket or a prop so that you don't have to work too hard to sit tall. Allow yourself to find your version of a comfortable seat. Then you'll relax the hands somewhere along the legs. Maybe you close the eyes or gently gaze down at the nose. Use a nice long inhale to sit tall and a nice long exhale to relax the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll start to turn the focus inwards. So at first you might start to notice how the hips are contacting the ground. Does it feel like you're leaning more to the left or to the right? Or are you right about in the middle? Next, you'll start to notice the rate of your breath. Is it fast or slow? And are you breathing into the chest, the belly, or both? Next, you might take the time to scan the body from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes to see how everything feels in this moment. You might notice certain areas feel a little bit more tense or uncomfortable, and others that maybe feel a little bit more relaxed or at ease. Reminder that one of these is not necessarily better than the other. It's just a reflection of how you move throughout your day. Finally, you'll bring your awareness to the mind to reflect on any thoughts that have come up so far in your practice or your day. Has the mind been racing with thoughts, or has it been a little bit more calm? Do the thoughts revolve around a certain topic? And do they like to linger, or can you easily let them go? We'll take one deep breath together where you inhale for 4, and then you'll open the mouth and let out a nice on the exhale. You might imagine yourself releasing any stress or frustration that you're holding on to right now. So when you're ready, you'll inhale for 4. Breathe deep into the belly, 3. Feel the ribs expand out to the side, 2. Step in the last bit of air, 1. Open the mouth, exhale. With your next exhale, you'll lower the chin down towards the chest. Draw the chin over towards the right shoulder. Pull the left shoulder down and back. Inhale, start to lift the chin so that you can look all the way to the right. You can do this with the eyes open or closed. Then inhale, lift the chin up and to the right. Left shoulder stays down. Slowly rotate chin towards the center. And then over, up and to the left. Pull the right shoulder down and slightly back. Exhale, lower the chin to hover over left shoulder. Look as far as you can towards the left. And then you'll drop the chin down towards the left shoulder, keeping the right shoulder down. Slowly draw the chin towards the center. We'll do the same thing, just in the opposite direction. So slowly draw chin towards the left shoulder. Keep the right shoulder down. Next, inhale, lift the chin. Look as far as you can towards the left. Pull the shoulders back behind you. Inhale, lift the chin up and to the left. Slowly bring chin up and to the center. Then up and to the right. Left shoulder stays down this time. Exhale, lower the chin over the right shoulder. And then slowly draw the chin down towards right shoulder. It can stay there for a second or 2, and then all the way back towards the center. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale to squeeze the shoulder blades together tight, and then down towards the hips. One more. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale to squeeze the shoulder blades together tight, and then down towards the hips. You'll slowly blink the eyes open if they were still closed. We're going to move into a straddle position. So you are welcome to do the straddle position with the hips up on a blanket, or you can take the time to move it out to the side. Allow your legs to go into a V at any width that you'd like. So you can take it in a little bit lower. We're going to start to warm up the hip with some deep hip rotation. So look at your left big toe, and you're going to start to rotate left big toe down towards the floor, and then pinky side down. Slowly moving back and forth between the two, trying to isolate the movement deep in the hip. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So with the right big toe down towards the floor, and then pinky side down. Trying to move at the hip while you do this. And if it's difficult to get each side of the foot towards the floor, bring the legs a little closer. Then you'll return the toes up towards the center. Hands can come on the outsides of the hips and lift the chest. This might be enough. You can even slightly bend the knees if you need to here. Or you're going to take the hands towards the center. Inhale, lift the chest. If you want to add a forward fold, you'll start to walk the hands forward. Pull the chest forward away from the hips. Then a slight tuck of the chin down towards the chest. Wherever you are, 4 deep breaths with equal length inhales and exhales, ideally just through the nose. Next, inhale, walk the hands back towards the hips. You'll slowly start to drag the heels in close. And then exhale, bring the knees over towards the right, or you're rotating the body towards the right. So the inside of the left knee is on the ground, and the outside of the right knee is also on the ground. You want to set up in as close to a 90-90 position as you can here. So 90-degree bend in the front and back knee. And you can always place a blanket underneath the back hip if you need here. We're going to start by turning the chest towards the left knee. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, see if you can drop the left hip down a little bit more. It may or may not happen, and you might already feel a stretch in that area. You can stay here or maybe take this a little deeper. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the head. And then draw the left elbow over to the left knee. As far as you can go. And you have 3 breaths here. Inhale, back to center. Take the hands down, one on each side of that front thigh. And then you'll exhale, lower the chest down towards right knee. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, see if you can bring the chest more towards the center of the right lower leg. And inhale to come up. So you can do this with the hands on the floor, or you can take the hands behind the head, but drive down through both legs as you lift up. Exhale. Lower down one more time. Inhale to lift. Take one hand on each side of the right thigh again. And you're going to rotate on the back heel first. So inhale. Stay on the left heel. Lift the left knee up towards the ceiling as high as it'll go without letting the right leg come off the ground. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower down. This time, you'll keep the left knee on the ground. You're going to try and use the outside muscles of the hip here to rotate at the hip to lift the left foot off the ground. Sometimes you have to lean more forward to make this easier. But if you really want to challenge yourself, you're going to lift yourself upright. And you can set the intention and super contract everything and not move, and that is okay. Let that happen. So when you're ready, you'll inhale. Lift the chest and start to lift left heel off the ground. Lift it as high as you can. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere, and that's okay. Just set the intention for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Sink the left hip down. If you cramped, it's okay. You're just going to shake it out. We're working on end range of motion strength there. So when you're ready, we're going to do it one more time. Left knee stays down. Inhale, lift. Left heel off the ground. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly lower that left hip down. And then try to use no hands to go back towards the center, knees up towards the ceiling, and then over towards the left. So now the right knee Inside of the right knee is on the ground. Outside of the left knee is also on the ground. And you have, again, a 90 degree angle in both knees. Place one hand on each side. Turn the chest towards the left knee. And you're just going to sink right hip into the floor. This can be where you stay, and you can maybe prop yourself up with a blanket underneath the left hip if you need here. Or you can inhale, take the arms behind the head. Exhale, try to bring the right elbow towards the right knee. Wherever you are, 4 breaths. Next, inhale, you'll come back towards the center, one hand on each side of the left thigh. As you exhale, lower the chest towards the left knee. As you inhale, push down through both legs to lift the chest up. So hands can stay on the floor here if you'd like, or you might lift them up. Exhale, try to bring the chest towards the center of the left lower leg. Inhale to lift. 2 more. Exhale, lower down, maybe chest towards left knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower the chest towards the left lower leg. Inhale to lift. Again, one hand on each side. This time we're going to pivot on the right heel and lift the right knee up towards the ceiling. So when you're ready, inhale, lift right knee up as high as it'll go while keeping the right heel down and left leg heavy towards the floor. Exhale to lower down. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, right knee up. And exhale, lower down. This time, right knee stays on the ground. We're going to try and lift the right foot off the ground by rotating at the hip. So hands stay down. Inhale, lift the chest. Try to keep an upright position the best that you can. Contract the out of the hip. Inhale, lift right foot off the ground. Hold for 3. For 2, even if it doesn't lift, just set the intention for 1. And then exhale, lower down, sink the right hip down. If you cramped, you can shake it out. Whatever you need to relax it. We'll do it one more time. So inhale, lift the chest. And then you'll start to lift the right knee or right foot off the ground, right knee heavy. Hold for 3. Remember to breathe for 2. If you're cramping, breathe through it for 1. Exhale, lower the right foot down. And you'll start to make your way onto the hands and knees into a tabletop position. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips, and push the tops of the feet down. Start to wake up the spine as you exhale, round the spine, tailbone down, chin to chest. And as you inhale, move towards looking up. Untuck the tailbone, drop the belly, the chest, and start to look up. You can move as slow as you'd like. Carry about 3 to 4 rounds, syncing this movement with your own breath in your own time. Trying to push the boundary of your spinal movement a little bit more each time. After your next round, we'll move to stretch the bottom of the feet. So tuck the toes all the way under, the best that you can. Sink the hips towards the heels. This can be where you stay with the hands on the floor. You can take them a little higher to blocks or a step stool, or you're going to sink hips all the way back towards the heels. Find one point to gaze at on the floor. 4 breaths. Next, exhale, you'll take the hands down towards the floor, tap the tops of the feet out. We're going to start to move our way into a standing position. So when we do the moon salutations, instead of going front to back, we'll turn towards the side. So if you need to take this time to pause and move the screen or change whatever you need so that you can turn the body to go more like lengthwise against a mat, that's what we're going to do. And you'll also want to set up with blocks nearby. So having them on what would be the long side of your mat if you're using a mat. And blanket also handy nearby. When you're ready, tuck the toes under, send the hips high and back behind you. Walk forward into your first standing forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need. Grab opposite elbows. Relax the head down. Breathe into the low back. Maybe gently sway side to side. The option to take a twist here. So as you exhale, place the right hand down on the floor or a block. Bend the right knee. Inhale, reach left hand high to the sky. You can look up or down depending upon how the neck feels. Maybe pull the right hip back and see if that changes the sensation of your twist. Exhale, left hand comes down. Bend the left knee, straighten the right. Inhale, right hand high to the sky. Again, your choice in the position of the head to allow the neck to relax. Exhale, lower the right hand down. When you're ready, slight bend in the knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Shoulders go down the back, head comes up last. You'll start to turn to whatever the long side of your space is going to be for the moon salutation. So we'll start by standing more towards the right side of the mat. Feet can start together. And when you're ready, you'll inhale, reach the arms overhead, grab opposite elbows, pull the elbows high. As you exhale, start to bring the elbows over towards the left. Push the hips more forward into the right. You can look up or down, depending upon how that feels with the neck and the shoulders. 3 breaths into the right side of the body between right hip and right armpit. Inhale, pull yourself all the way back up to standing. Exhale to release the arms. Next, inhale, step left foot out to the side, about 3 to 4 feet. Then turn the toes out to the side, about 45-degree angle. Moving towards goddess pose, bend the knees, sink the hips, and maybe don't lower down very far. You want to try to tuck the tailbone down. You can lower as far as you'd like. Palms go together in center of the chest. And you have 4 breaths here. So tailbone down, push down actively through both feet. If you want to distract yourself, you'll inhale, lift left heel up. Exhale to lower left heel down. Inhale, lift the right heel up. Exhale, lower the right heel down. Inhale to lift left heel. Exhale to lower left. Inhale, lift the right. Exhale to lower right. See if you can sink down a little bit more. It's a really long 4 count. And then when you're ready, you'll start to straighten the legs. Turn the toes towards me for star pose. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side. You might flex the fingers up towards the ceiling and see how that feels for you here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to move towards a triangle pose. So if you need a block, you might have to reach for it. But start to turn the left toes towards the left. Then, I'm going to move blocks. You're going to take the left hand either to the left leg or a block in front of the left foot. Right hand to the right hip. Turn the chest towards me for triangle or trikonasana. Exhale, maybe lower down a little bit more. So again, left hand can go to a block or the lower leg. Inhale, option to reach right hand high. Maybe you look up towards the ceiling. Actively push down through the right heel. Last 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, exhale, move towards pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana. You can take both blocks with you. Turn right heel back behind you. Point the chest towards the left toes. 1 hand on each side. On blocks if you need here. And remember, you can play with the distance front to back, left to right, to see what feels the best for you, and to see if you can get that left hip point, right hip point, right knee to point down towards the floor. Inhale, pull the chest forward away from the hips. Then exhale, maybe you lower the chest closer to the leg. Actively push down through both feet. Slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. 3 to 4 breaths here. Our next pose is a low lunge. So if you have sensitive knees, slide the blanket or towel underneath so that as you exhale, you can lower the right knee down towards the floor. Sink the hips down and forward, release the right toes. Hands can stay on blocks here if you'd like. Inhale, lift the chest. Hands can also be on the floor if you prefer, or on top of the thigh. Wherever you are, you just want to think chest up away from the hips. Last 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, inhale, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up. Moving towards Ardha Malasana or half squat pose. Start to walk the hands to the inside of the left foot, and then you're going to turn towards the long side of your space. And left toes out at a 45-degree angle. Sink the hips down. Right toes can go up towards the ceiling and super contract the right quad. So if you find yourself really high, you can stay in this high position if you'd like. Just keep the foot down, right foot down. Or you can always take blocks or pillows, stack them underneath the hip here so that you can try and get this left heel down. Take the palms towards the center of the chest. Push the palms together. Actively drive your right heel down. Squeeze the right quads or the front of the thigh. Turn the chest. Look at the right big toe. 3 breaths. Next, exhale, you'll take the hands down towards the floor. Inhale to lift the hips up. Maybe move the blanket out of the way or keep it there. Moving towards Malasana or full squat pose. Take the toes out towards the sides. Exhale, lower the hips down. This can be with the hips on blocks like I'm doing here or without. Wherever you are, try to keep the knees in line with the toes, palms towards the center of the chest. Push the palms together, knees out to the side. Inhale, lift the chest. Actively push down through both feet and try to have equal pressure in both feet. Last 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, exhale, hands come down. Inhale, lift the hips up. Take the blocks over to the right side. So we have Ardha Malasana on the right side. Turn the toes out to the side. And then maybe walk your left foot out a little bit more. Exhale, lower the hips down. Left toes can go up towards the ceiling. Maybe you sink right hip or the hips onto blocks or a stool or pillow. Place the palms together in the center of the chest. Push the palms together. Rotate the chest a little bit more towards the left. Actively push down through that left heel. 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, exhale, hands come down. Inhale, lift the hips up. And then you'll exhale, lower left knee down to find low lunge. So lowering the left knee down underneath, on top of a blanket if you need. Hands go to blocks. Exhale, sink the hips forward. You can untuck the back toes. Lift the chest. So if hands on the floor, blocks, doesn't matter, lift the chest. Hands can go to the top of the thighs if you prefer. Last 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, exhale, you'll start to tuck left toes under. Inhale to lift the left knee. Shift the hips back to find your pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana. Walk your left foot in a little bit more if you need so that you can have equal pressure in both feet. Turn the toes forward. Remember, you can experiment with the feet front to back, left to right, and how far apart they are. Hands can go to blocks here if you need. Try to point your right hip point or your ASIS down towards the floor, right knee towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, pull it away from the hips. Actively push down through both feet. Exhale, if you'd like, you can forward fold a little bit more, chest closer to the thigh. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and then a slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. 3 to 4 breaths here. Next, exhale. You're going to start to turn the left heel back behind you. So the left toes now go towards the left. Moving towards a triangle pose, take the right hand either to a block or somewhere along the right leg. Left hand to the left hip. Inhale, spin the chest towards the left so that the left shoulder is up towards the ceiling. Actively push down through both feet and then a little bit more through that left heel. Inhale, option to take left hand high to the sky. 3 to 4 breaths here. Keeping the exhales long. Next, inhale, you'll pull yourself all the way up with the left hand. Spin the toes forward for your star pose. Inhale, arms come out to the side like a T. And then option to take fingers up towards the ceiling. Shoulders down away from the ears. 3 breaths. Next, exhale, lower the hands down. Turn the toes out about 45 degrees for goddess pose. You can take the feet a little wider if you need here. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale to lift the chest. Try to tuck the tailbone down towards the floor. Palms can go towards the center of the chest here. 3 to 4 breaths. Maybe you can exhale, lower the hips down a little bit more. Next, inhale, you'll straighten the legs. Turn the toes forward. Step right foot next to left. Inhale, reach the arms overhead for Paringasana. Pull the elbows high. Exhale, elbows over towards the right. Push the hips more forward and to the left. Option to look up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor, depending upon how the neck feels. Breathe into the left side of the body. Inhale, elbows come up. Exhale to lower the hands down. Find mountain pose or Tandasana. Palms face forward. Project the fingertips down towards the floor. Shoulders away from the ears. Maybe close the eyes or gaze down at the nose. Check in with the rate of your breath, how the body feels, and the presence of any thoughts. So we're going to reverse our way out. Hope you're ready. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. We won't spend as long in each pose. Grab opposite elbows, pull the elbows high. Exhale, elbows over towards the right. Push the hips more forward and to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, step right foot out to the side, 3 to 4 feet. Turn the toes out to the side. Exhale, goddess pose. Lower the hips down. Tailbone down towards the floor, palms towards the center of the chest. You can stay here or inhale, lift left heel up. Exhale, lower the left heel down. Inhale, right heel up. Exhale, lower right heel down. Inhale, lift to left. Exhale, lower left. Inhale, lift the right. Exhale, lower right. Sink the hips a little lower. When you're ready, inhale, straighten the legs. Star pose. Turn the toes forward. Inhale, arms come in line with the shoulders. Option to flex the fingers up towards the ceiling. Shoulders away from the ears. 3 breaths. Next, exhale, start to turn the right toes towards the right, moving towards triangle pose or Trikonasana. Maybe you walk the feet a little closer. You can take left hand to the left hip. Exhale, lower the right hand down either to the right leg or a block. Spin the chest towards the left, so left shoulder up towards the ceiling. And then option to take left hand high. You can look high or low, depending upon how the neck feels. 3 breaths. Push down through the left heel. Exhale, lower the left hand down. Find pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Turn the left heel back behind you. Experiment front to back, left to right with your foot distance. Inhale, lift the chest, pull the chest forward away from the hips. Exhale, maybe relax the chest a little closer to the leg. Actively push down through both feet. Tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. Last 2 breaths. Next, exhale, lower down into your low lunge. Left knee down, untuck the left toes. Hands can go to the blocks, the floor, or maybe this time you inhale, lift the arms up. Really push down through that back foot. Lift the chest. Maybe look up towards the ceiling to challenge your balance. Exhale, hands come down on the inside of the right foot. Tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee up. Moving towards Ardha Malasana, half squat pose. Turn the right toes out towards the upper corner. Sink the hips down, flex the left toes up. 2 breaths here. Inhale, lift the hips. Find Malasana squat pose, walk the feet a little closer. Toes can go out to the sides if you need. Exhale, sink the hips down, palms towards the center of the chest. Lift the chest. 3 breaths. Equal pressure in both feet. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale to lift the hips. Moving towards Ardha Malasana on the left side. Turn the left toes out to the side a little bit, like it's going to the corner of the room. Straighten the right leg, right toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale to sink the hips down. Lift the chest. Inhale. Push down through both feet to lift the hips up. Moving towards low lunge with the right knee down. Move your props as you need. Exhale to lower right hip down and forward. Push down through that back foot. Hands can stay on the floor or blocks. Or maybe you inhale, take the arms high. Look forward, or to challenge your balance, look up towards the ceiling. 3 to 4 breaths. Next, exhale. Hands come down towards the floor or a block. Inhale to lift the hips up and back. Find your pyramid pose. Maybe walk the feet in a little bit closer. Try to get the right heel down if you can. Experiment with how you want your feet. Then inhale, pull the chest away from the hips. Exhale, maybe lower the chest down towards the legs. Actively push down through both feet. And relax the chin towards the chest. Next, inhale. We'll start to move towards Trikonasana. So use an exhale. Rotate the right heel down back behind you. So the right toes go away from the body. Left hand somewhere along the left leg or a block. Right hand to the right hip. Inhale, rotate the chest towards the right. Keep the front leg as straight as you can. Slight bend in the knee is a-okay. Try to get right shoulder up towards the ceiling. This can be where you stay, or inhale, right hand high to the sky. You can look up or down, depending upon how the neck feels. Last couple of breaths. Inhale, pull yourself up with the right hand. Turn, left toes forward, star pose. Inhale, arms in line with the shoulders. Option to flex the fingers up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. 3 breaths. Next, exhale, lower the hands down, turn the toes out. 45 degrees for your goddess pose. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, tailbone down. Hands can go towards the center of the chest in prayer. Or, as you exhale, you're going to start to push the hands forward. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, push the hands out to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale, push the arms overhead. Inhale to center. Exhale, push the hands down towards the floor, sink the hips a little lower. 3 breaths. Inhale, start to straighten the legs. Step your left foot next to the right. Toes face forward. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Grab opposite elbows, pull the elbows high. Exhale, start to bring the upper body over towards the left. Push the hips more forward into the right. Look up or down, depending upon how the neck feels. Last 2 breaths. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, relax the hands down. Check in with the breath, the body, and the mind in Tandasana, mountain pose. Option to close the eyes or find a point to gaze at. And then we'll start to make our way down towards the floor into a child's pose. So however you would like to do that, I'll just guide you through more of like a half sun salutation. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, relax the head. Step left and the right foot back to find a downward facing dog. Maybe you pedal it out, left, right. Push the hands down and forward, descend the heels more towards the floor and lengthen out the spine. Bend the knees if you need. Exhale, knees down towards the floor. Bring the big toes to touch. Knees can go together a little bit wider. Exhale, relax the forehead towards the floor. You can also place a blanket or a prop underneath if you need. 4 breaths into the low back. Inhale, slowly walk the hands back towards the knees. And then you'll take the feet off to the side so you can slowly lower down onto the back. Once you're on the back, bring the knees in towards the chest. Maybe gently rock side to side. You'll keep the right knee in towards the chest, lower the left foot down. Start to rotate right knee out to the side, right ankle to the top of the left thigh. Flex the right toes up towards the ceiling for a figure 4 stretch. This can be where you stay. If you already feel a stretch, cool, stay here. If you need a little bit more, you'll inhale, lift the left leg closer to the chest. Maybe you interlace the fingers behind the left leg and draw them in a little closer. 4 breaths here. Next, exhale, you'll lower the left foot down. Option to cross the right leg all the way over the left and then allow the legs to fall towards the left. If this does not feel good, you do not have to do that. You can just straighten the left leg out. If you can, you might keep the right ankle tucked underneath the left lower leg. Try to keep the right shoulder heavy. So if you need, you're always welcome to place props underneath the legs here to keep the shoulder down. Remember, you can experiment with the direction your face points to see if it changes how this twist feels in your Supta Matsyendrasana. And you have another 4 deep breaths, trying to lengthen out the exhales, a little bit longer than the previous one. Inhale, slowly bring the legs back towards the center. Place the right foot flat on the floor, switching to the other side. So first, hug the left knee in tight towards the chest to keep the low back of the head heavy into the floor. Then as you exhale, rotate the left knee out to the side. Left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Allow the left knee to fall away from the body. This can be where you stay if you feel it in the hip. Or you'll start to inhale, lift right leg up, a little closer to the body. Interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Again, trying to keep the low back of the head heavy into the floor. 4 deep breaths. Next, exhale, you'll lower the right foot down. Option to cross the left leg all the way over the right, or you can choose not to. Your choice, taking whatever spinal twist that feels the best for you. So whenever you're ready, I'll exhale, lower the legs towards the right, placing any props you might need underneath the legs so that you can keep the left shoulder a little closer to the floor. Remember to experiment with the direction that your face points to see how that maybe changes the sensation of the twist. You have about 4 to 5 more breaths here. Inhaling, trying to feel the pressure or the ribs expand a little bit more each time you inhale. And as you exhale, slowly drawing the belly button towards the spine. Next, inhale. You'll slowly bring everything back towards the center. You're welcome to do any last bit of movement you might need here. So maybe that's rocking the knees side to side. If you'd like, today you can always, and add more support to your low back, you can always bring a blanket underneath the knees are just right behind the thighs so that the low back can be a little bit more supported on the floor. Palms can face up towards the ceiling or rest face down on the abdomen. You might close the eyes or find one point on the ceiling to gaze at, but allow yourself this time to support yourself with any props you might need so that you can find a comfortable and still version of this last pose before we make our way into the breathing practice and the final resting pose, Shavasana. So today for the breathing practice, we'll work on inhaling for 4, holding the breath in for 4, and then exhaling out for a count of 4. If at any point you start to feel anxious, lightheaded, or dizzy, please return back to a more normal way of breathing for you. And know that there can be so many things happening in life and in the body that make it difficult for us to change the rate of our breath. So if it's difficult for you today, please practice patience and kindness with yourself. So when you're ready, you'll inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Long inhale. Nice long exhale. With each next exhale, allow yourself to feel more supported by the ground and any props you might have beneath you. So that as you continue to exhale, you might allow yourself to sink into this support. So that as the body starts to feel more supported, it might release any remaining tension that it's holding onto. And in time, you might eventually find this state of being that's right before you fall asleep, where the body is heavy, fully relaxed, resting, almost sinking into the support that is beneath it. And the mind is calm but present, so that you can take these next 2 to 3 minutes to rest and recover here. Remember, if it's difficult to quiet the mind, just imagine yourself watching it, observing it. It's okay that it doesn't go quiet. Allowing yourself to use any imagery that will help with you releasing the thoughts. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. With your next inhale, notice how the belly or the chest rises. And with your next exhale, notice how they fall. So that as you bring awareness to the movement of the breath, you allow yourself to come back into this current moment. So you can slowly start to wake yourself up. You might start by wiggling the toes, the fingers, and eventually moving to the wrists and the ankles. Maybe you rock the head side to side or stretch overhead. Any movement that feels good here. So that when you're ready, you'll start to roll to one side, taking a breath or two here. And eventually you'll push yourself up into a comfortable seat in the center of your space, where you might close the eyes or gently gaze down at the nose. Resting the hands somewhere along the legs. Use an inhale to sit tall, and an exhale to relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Wherever you are, I encourage you to take a moment or two here to observe how the body and the mind now feel at the end of your practice. And it can be as simple as different or same. You're always welcome to bring the palms together to touch, thumbs in front of the heart space in Anjali Mudra. You might take this time to thank yourself for showing up to your mat, for dedicating this time to yourself and to your practice. But most of all, I would encourage you to thank your body for what it has allowed you to do today. When you're ready, you'll slowly start to blink the eyes open. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me guide your practice today, and I hope to see you in the next one.